How does it feel to have the record of the highest number of participations in the IMO? So, are there notable differences between these competitions, the IMO and the IOI? And which one is harder? What does it take to move from honorable mention to a bronze medal to a silver medal to gold? Is it keep doing the same thing, or is it you need to be doing different things? What's about the difference between IMO and Putnam? Are they similar? Does Putnam feel like the continuation of IMO, or are they completely different? Today we are honored to have Zisong with us, a brilliant mind who has excelled in some of the most challenging competitions in the world, including the International Math Olympiad, the IMO, the International Olympiad in Informatics, IOI, and the International Linguistics Olympiad, IOL. Zisong holds the record for participating in the IMO with 7 participations and has not only achieved gold medals across different fields like IMO and IOI, but is also studying at the prestigious University of MIT. In this episode, we will dive into his journey, his approach to problem solving, and the mindset that has led him to such remarkable success. Whether you are an Olympiad participant, a student looking for inspiration, or simply someone who loves hearing about extraordinary achievements, there is something here for you all. Let's get started. Zisong, welcome to the show. So let's go back to the very beginning. You started participating at the IMO at a very young age. How old were you?
Well, I was turning 13. I was 13. Technically, my birthday was after IMO. Yeah.
And that's when you won your first bronze medal.
Right. Yeah. That was my first bronze medal.
How did you manage doing math so young? What really sparked your interest in mathematics?
Right. So in terms of mathematics in general, it's hard to say because I think I've been starting since very young, since I already forgot a long time ago. But for Olympiads, I can pinpoint the time, I guess. And so when I was 9 years old, there was this IMO training camp thing at my state. So like the head Olympiad coach for the IMO team went to my state to give a 1 week seminar. So my father found out about this seminar online for some reason, and then he asked the coach whether I can like join the seminar. So and I guess he agreed. So I went to the seminar, and from there I learned about the existence of IMO and things this. I guess before that I was already like doing like maybe like not like school math or like high school level math. So I have some like background going into the seminar, and yeah, I think the seminar like really like piqued my interest with like interesting problems from like Olympiads. So I think that's where I started my Olympiad journey.
Did your parents play a role in this journey?
But yeah, so I guess mainly my father. I mean, my parents are very supportive in general throughout the entire journey. My father was looking out for many different opportunities, which included this initial seminar that somehow he found online. So like without this seminar, I would not be in the IMO camp since 10th. So I think this was a very important like part of my journey.
A seminar of what?
Or like Olympiad math like course something, like a few day like course to prepare like beginners for, or to I guess to not advertise, but to explain what Olympiad math is and some basic Olympiad math. To solve some like basic Olympiad math problems.
And did you start
Beginner.
doing anything related to math at a younger age? Maybe your parents pushed you towards a certain direction.
Yeah, so like I guess I don't know why I was interested in math. Like since I was interested in math since I was like maybe like 3. So like I don't actually remember like what's the like why I was interested. Maybe I mean many people are interested in different things, right? So like it just happened to be math for me. And then from there, I think my father like bought like reference books for like high school level math when I was small, like maybe 5, 6. Like I guess when I was 4, I would read those books. It was fun. I would learn about higher level like math. Yeah. When I
Was there someone who was teaching you, or did you learn all of this by yourself?
not really, yeah. Mainly no. Like my father like bought like the books and stuff like that. So I was like interested in reading, I guess. I was bored. So yeah, I think I mainly was self-taught. I have like some like people teach me like sometime, but like I think when I was young, like it was mainly like learning. Yeah, so I went to like Kumon for like when I was young, but like that is also like kind of like self learning. So I don't have like a tuition thing.
Are you saying that you started learning high school math between the ages of 5 and 7?
Yeah, I forgot the exact age, but like, I think it's around that time. Yeah, like basic algebra.
How can you understand that without a teacher?
So I mean, I think reading like somehow like reading like textbooks or things like that like was sufficient for me. Like yeah, I don't know like how I work for other people, but like I could like somehow like follow like the examples from like the textbook and like I somehow like maybe it's like pattern recognition or something like you get infer from there.
So the participation of your parents was by giving you books, right? Was there anything else?
And like in general like support is for like they like my father like look out for like different things I could join like this like Olympiad training camps, right? And yeah, like I think like they're more like they're not like they're already teaching me like math, like I think, but like they were supportive that the entire way. So yeah.
So you went from winning honorable mention to winning a gold medal in the IMO. How did you do that?
Right. So it's pretty interesting. So I guess like it went from like bronze to honorable mention to gold, which is a very interesting journey. But anyway, so yeah, so I think for a long time like I was probably like around bronze to silver level if you can quantify like that properly in like IMO, I guess. I was like very bad in like in IMO there are like 4 topics, right? Algebra, number theory, combinatorics, and geometry. I was like I'm still like extremely weak at like geometry. I just like completely gave up on geometry for some reason. So I was like mainly like focusing on like the other 3 topics. Like I could only do like the like maybe easiest geometry problems in IMO, or like nothing much more. Uh, so I guess that's also like a reason. Like for example, like sometimes when problem 2 is like geometry, I just like couldn't solve it. So that's like pretty bad for my IMO results for a long time. So I got lucky in the year where I got gold. Like because like problem 2 and 5 were not geometry. There was only one geometry, which is like problem 6. And like it was very hard. So like getting 1 point there like good enough. So in some sense, I got lucky for my gold medal. So I mean we can talk more about this later. But like I think from like 2016, like I switched my focus to like IOI. Like I think for like most of my high school, later half of my high school, I was like doing like exclusively like preparation for IOI. So IMO turns out to be like it's not like while I was doing IOI preparation, somehow like when I went back to IMO, like my skills in like combinatorics and stuff seem to improve for some reason. I guess I mean it's not a surprise because like IOI problems are more like combinatorics problems if you compare it to IMO, right? I was able to like I trained a lot on like combinatorics problems, I guess, from IOI. And then when I went back to IMO, like I somehow like could solve like the hardest like or like at least a decent amount of time I can solve like the harder like combinatorics problems. Which was what happened. Like I can talk more about like the year I won gold medal, which was an interesting situation because like so I won gold in IMO 2020, and then like on day 1, Pro 1 was geometry, which was like my weak point, but like it was still like Pro 1 geometry, so I could solve it in like some amount of time. And then I went to like problem 2, which was I was stuck there for like a bit, but then I saw problem 3 was like some combinatorics problem, so I thought like maybe I should try it first. And then after I read the problem, and then thought about it for like a bit, I realized that it was similar to like some courses problem that I was doing, some courses contest problem like I did like maybe a few months ago. So it turns out that like the problem there uses the same trick from like like some courses round problem that I did like a few months ago. So like I managed to solve that problem like even faster than problem 1. So that was a curious instance. Yeah.
Cool. What about in terms of skills and knowledge? What does it take to move from honorable mention to a bronze medal to a silver medal to gold? Is it keep doing the same thing, or is it you need to be doing different things?
Right. I guess in terms of like, you know, knowledge, I mean, sure that there are like a bunch of knowledge that's like helpful to know, but if you look at like maybe recent IMO problems, like some of them like you don't need like very advanced, you know, techniques. I mean, especially like combinatorics problems, like sometimes you just need to have the right idea. So like for these tough problems, I think I trained a lot by doing like IOI. So like for preparation for IOI, I did like maybe like hundreds of problems like every month, or like, you know, I was joining like all like possible like algorithmic contests, like Coforces, Encoder, many different like websites. I was doing the like weekly contests, and I was like solving a bunch of problems. So I think I got like a bunch of practice during that period. Maybe that so I think like maybe the difference between bronze and gold maybe like is like amount of practice. Like, and I guess sometimes like for if you like just look at a single contest, maybe it also depends on luck. So like maybe like, you know, you haven't had the right idea for like for example for me like 2020 problem tree, like I saw seeing that idea before, so it sort of like was also like luck. So it's like for like a single contest you can say like it's probably luck, but like for people who like consistently get like 42 points or like, you know, very high, like they're or like very far from the goal cutoff, I think they're like, well, one day like I think they practice like they did like they do like maybe like all the falls. Well, I mean all is like exaggeration, but like they probably do like much more practice than me. So I think like practice is like one of the main factors. Maybe some people like also like are like talented. I don't know. But I think practice is like a key difference maker. Like just not solve like old like contest problems. Yeah.
Okay, so for you to move from honorable mention to gold, you just keep doing the same thing again and again, which is practice.
So yeah. I mean the problems themselves are different like, you know, from year to year. Like they're like law, right? Like problems like 10 years ago might be like much easier now, compared to now. So like, you know, it's like an evolution of like the problems itself like evolved over time.
Mm-hmm. Was there any change in your mindset?
Right. Yeah. So that's also one thing, right? So back in like maybe 2018 or something, 2018. So there's one year where like problem 3 was like combinatorics and problem 2 was geometry, right? And in IMO the problems are like sorted in increasing order. So like usually people like, you know, start from P1 and then do P2 and P3. But like if you can tell like from my account just now, like in IMO 2020 I went from P1, I did P2 for a bit, but I skipped the P3. So I think back then I did not have the courage to like, you know, skip the feature, like just do problem 3, skip like ignore problem 2, right? Like that was not the mindset I had. So I think doing IOI or like, you know, doing IOI like gave me the confidence to like, you know, to say that I can do like any combinatorics strong on the IMO like on a good day, right? So I think it allowed me to like do this like how like skipping. So like I think it gave me like confidence. Like that's one of the big changes.
So the change in mindset is that you don't avoid problem 3 anymore. You don't look at it as if it's a monster,
right? Yeah,
not
right.
solve.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like I need to solve problem 2 before I can solve problem 3. It's like it's a different change. Yeah, different mindset maybe.
So you're saying that there are transferable skills from the IOI and IMO. So if someone is preparing for the IOI, he can use those skills in the IMO. To which extent is that right?
I think so for like geometry, I think like, you know, well, good luck. I think geometry is a different set of skills. You probably can't transfer that to geometry. But for like for like the other types of problems, I think for IOI you need like it trains your like, well, it trains combinatorics, the first thing, and also like in some ways like also like problem solving. I mean, I think IMO problems and IOI problems they're both like, you know, similar types of problems in some sense. Like you can convert like an IOI problem to an IMO problem, like by just removing the algorithm, implement this algorithm part. Like and in fact sometimes like some people convert IOI problems to like IMO problems and vice versa. So like in some sense, maybe half of the problems are like interchangeable in some sense. So if you prepare for the IOI, it's sort of like you also prepare for the IMO, like half of the IMO. So like it's like they share a lot of like in terms of problem type.
Just one moment, please. Yeah, so you said that the skills between IMO and IOI are transferable, but when I look at your results, you got gold in the IOI. At the same year, you got bronze in the IMO. But you also got gold at the IMO. At the same year, you got silver at the IOI. It looks a little bit random. Like there is no correlation between what you get at the IMO and what you're getting at the IOI.
Right. So, I mean, for a fixed contest, I'm not a very strong participant in the sense that, like, if you give me like 10 IMOs, I might not get gold in like maybe some number of them. Like I have some probability of getting gold. It's not like it's not even close to 100%, right? So it also like heavily depends on like, what are the set of problems that appear, and like what are my like, like what state of mind I'm going in, I guess. Like, or maybe like one day I'm like, if I'm lucky, I can find the correct idea in like few minutes. But like if I'm unlucky, or it might take me like hours to find a solution to a problem, or maybe I would not solve this problem. So in some sense, there's some variance in the results. Yeah, like also because IMO like has geometry, right? Which I was never good at. Like I'm still not good at geometry at all. So like if you put a geometry in like problem 2, 5, 3, or 6, right? I think it's almost guaranteed that I'll get zero for that. So in some sense, I have a handicap of like 1 or 2 less problems, depending on whether there are 2 geometries that year. Like some years there are like 2 geometry problems, so I'm just dead from the get go. So yeah, that's not a very good mindset going into if you actually want to complete IMO. But like I was mainly focusing on IOI at that time. So like,
So are there notable differences between these competitions, the IMO and the IOI? And which one is harder?
yeah, that's an interesting debate. So I think in recent years, you can make an argument that IOI is harder. Like I guess depends on what you mean. So like if you look at results, right? Like every year there are some perfect scores for IMO, and some people like close to perfect score. But if you look at IOI, only maybe like a few people get, like 1 or 2 people get like close to perfect score or perfect score. Maybe it's just like it's usually like 1 or 2 people from like China or US sometimes. So if you look at results, it seems like IOI should in theory be harder, or you can say that IMO people are smarter. I'm not sure, but from like personally, like I mean I like IOI style problems better. So like for me they are like easier to work, easier to approach. But when I went back to IMO after doing IOI, so we were using the IMO shortlist as like IMO like shortlisted problem as like our national like training, maybe selection tests selection test during the training camp. Yeah, it feels like after I did IOI for like maybe a few years, when I went back to IMO, like the problems sometimes I can solve the problem in like 10 minutes, like 5 minutes. Like it feels like sometimes the problems are easier. Like the hard problems are still hard, but like it feels like there are more like easier problems. And sometimes in some years the IMO like ends up being easier because they manage to select the easier problems. I feel like IOI is harder recently, but like I mean, we call me on yeah.
What about if we decide the level of each competition based on the medal that you need to win? For example, is it harder to win a bronze medal for IMO or for IOI?
I feel like for these two, like they're pretty similar. Like I think you can put in like sufficient effort. I mean, I cannot define what sufficient effort is, but like I feel like if you try for like if you prepare like well for both IMO and IOI, you can consistently get like bronze in both. I think. Like
Okay,
I think for bronze like it's similar.
So what about a silver medal? Is it harder to get it in the IMO or in the IOI?
Right. Yeah, like that's a good, interesting question. Yeah, so I think okay, so there's one major distinction between IMO and IOI. So for IMO, like it's very important for you to solve the entire problem. Getting 7 points, I mean, it's very hard to get like some points between 0 and 7 for every problem. So in particular, your score is like very close to a multiple of 7 for IMO. Like for some problems, you like either solve it or like you don't solve it. If you don't manage to solve it, you lose like 7 points, which is like 1/6 of the entire score. So in that case, it's also like, in that sense, like IMO has like more variance, right? Like if you just have a bad day and like cannot solve a problem, you just like lose like 7 points, which is like the difference between maybe like gold and silver or silver and bronze. So like in some sense, if you're lucky or like if you're unlucky, then like you might drop your variance is like a single medal, maybe in IMO. But like for IOI, there are like different subtasks for every problem. And like it's very common for people to like just get partial score on every single problem. So it's not, in that sense, for example, a strategy to get bronze medal in IOI is to solve all the like easy subtasks for all the problems, right? Like maybe like get, I mean, but easiness of the subtasks like depends on the problem. But like usually you can solve like the for every problem you can like maybe spend an hour to like or like 1.5 hours on the problem and like try to solve as many subtasks as we can. I think that will give you like a very good chance of getting like, I mean, bronze. It's like pretty consistent currently, probably. So you cannot do that in IMO. You have to solve the problem in IMO. Like in IMO, you have to solve like, you know, problem 1, problem 4, and like maybe get partial credit somewhere else for bronze. So in that sense, like the skills needed, well, I mean, it's very different, like what bronze means in IOI and IMO. But I guess in the end, like it messed up to like roughly the same proportion of people. So like maybe it's still like a similar.
What ability might an IMO participant lack for success in the IOI?
To be honest, like I think if you do well in the IMO, like there's no way you can do. I mean, assuming you know like basic. Right. So I guess first thing you need to do is you need to learn like the algorithms, like the algorithms in that are current in IOI, and also how to implement the algorithms without bugs. I think that's one of the things that you do not do at IMO. In IMO, you can just like in IMO, if you solve a problem, you can just like say explain how you solve the problem, and then you don't need to like write a program to solve the problem, right? Like in some sense, if you like have the correct idea for the problem in IMO, you are basically guaranteed 7 points. Or if you like are like careless and like writing out, you can lose like 1 or 2 points. But for IOI, even if you have the correct idea to solve a problem, if you implement it incorrectly, or like if you have some bugs in your code, if you fail on like one test case, you might get like it might be the difference between like 0 and like 100 points. Like maybe you just like have to miss like a special case. In IMO you get -1 point, but in IOI you get like minus like 7 points. But like if you convert it to IMO, it's like 7 points. So like in that sense, like one skill that is not required in IMO or like not that important in IMO is like I mean programming is one thing, and also like how to like code fast and like bug free. I guess maybe that's one thing. Yeah.
So you've had incredible success in some of the toughest competitions, like the IMO and the IOI. It feels like you found a winning formula. What's your secret?
I wouldn't say like winning formula. I feel like it's more like I tried like many times, right? Well, I love large numbers, I guess. Like at some point I will like succeed in some tries, right? I also like have like some very bad like competitions. So like in some sense, if you average out, maybe I'm not like that great, but like there exists some like assuming I have my skill level is like at some like maybe I have like 50% chance of getting gold, right? If I try like 5 times, like I'll probably get gold like at some point, right? I think that's the so what's your question again? Like
what is your winning recipe? What is your secret formula for winning?
So I guess right. So the one thing is to try a lot. If you like join like 10 contests, right? Then you probably if you have the skill level, you like to win like if you can win one contest with like 10% chance. If you join 10 of them, like you probably win one of them. That's one thing, right? I was joining like a lot of algorithmic contests, and I guess less in math contests, but like mostly I was joining like a bunch of like different like I joined IMO and IOI and like many different contests. But also like by joining these like contests, you can also like have consistent training, right? Like I was training like I had because for IOI there's like 5 hour like a 5 hour time limit to do like 3 problems. For like online contests, usually you have like 2 hours or 2.5 hours to do like 7 problems or 5 problems. So in some sense, like for IOI, like, I mean, you don't need to be like very, very fast. But like in some sense, by doing all these like online contests, I was training both like, in terms of like contents, right? And also I was training my speed. Like in online contests, like if you're like 2 minutes late, you will like lose like a bunch of points. You might lose like 50 ranks because you are like 2 minutes late. So in some sense, like online contests like trains like my speed. So like that's like part of the important skills for IOI. For IMO, I guess like it's kind of weird because like I was doing this like IOI preparation and like when I went back to IMO, suddenly like maybe it's because of the change of perspective. Like I mentioned like earlier, like I have more confidence in like doing like combinatorics from 3. So maybe that's like one reason like it makes me stronger in IMO. Like
So during your preparation, what type of mindset did you have? Is it more of a relaxed, fun mindset or a disciplined, intense approach?
so I think I was mainly just having fun. Like I feel like the problems are interesting, so I was just like like it's not like you're forcing like me to do like some boring like history homework for like hours. I was like looking at this problem and like it feels like interesting, so I will start like thinking about the problem, and then like I think that was the like the entire like process. Like every day I'll just like go to this maybe Courses or at Coder or to find some problem, and then I'll try to like solve the problem. I think that was like my entire routine. So yeah, it was like a tour. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, it was more like because it was fun. Yeah, so I was doing it.
And what were your study resources?
So for IMO, I guess so initially I think we have for our training camp we have some like books. I think one very good one is the Art and Craft of Problem Solving. There also like some other ones, but I think after some like once you learn the like basic techniques, I think is the next best resource is like AOPS, Art of Problem Solving. So this is like if you don't know what AOPS is, it's like an internet forum for like Math Olympiad and also like other math stuff. But like in particular for Math Olympiad, you can find like basically everything is there. Like basically you can find almost every like national, international contest that's appeared in the like past maybe 10 years or more. You can find it on AOPS. And people like this like for the more like popular like contests, problems, people like have discussions there, and you can see the different like they'll have different approaches for the problem. So that's a very good resource for like just for like finding practice problems. For IOI, I was initially I was also like learning all the like basic algorithms like BFS, Dijkstra algorithm. So for those, I think nowadays there are like many online judges where you can practice like from A to Z, like all the different algorithms. I mean, one of them is like CSES.fi. I think there's also like one for USACO, like USACO.guide. There are many different like resources for preparing you to like learn all the like basic algorithms. And then once you know the basic algorithms, you can start to solve problems. So for those, like there are thousands of problems online for like IOI style problems, or even like tens of thousands. So like for example, Courses has a contest almost every week, and there will be new problems almost every week. Coder has like also problems like almost every week. Like my favorite ones are like Courses at Coder. But for IOI specific practice, you can like find many national Olympiads. Like I think they're like usually they're advertised on Courses. So like Courses has like a blog post system. So I think every day I just like back in the days like when I was doing like IOI, I would log into Courses like every day, and then like sometimes I will see like the Central European Olympiad, Central European Informatics Olympiad is starting like tomorrow. So I will just do that. Like I think that's like one source of me. Like that's where I get information on like what contests to do. Right. That's one way. But like checking like Courses like often is one way to get like
to get like new contests to like practice them. And for like old problems, you can find like problems on like many online journals. So like, for example, like for IOI problems or many national Olympiad problems, you can find like, you can submit to them on like oj.uz or some similar like online judge. So for IOI, I think like there are many resources like online. Yeah.
So, what's your advice on becoming smarter in mathematics?
I think like mathematics is like more about like, like by doing more, by doing more like problems, right? You're like collecting, it's sort of like building a library. So like every problem you do, like there might be some new like trick or technique or new technique we see in the problem. And then you add that to your like library, right? So like the next time you do a problem, sometimes you can like, recall that you have this thing in your like library and you can like call this function. So like, for example, like I have a friend who's like very good at like geometry, right? So like, how does he like do it? So sometimes like, it's very funny. So like when he does a geometry problem, like he'll say like, if you look at this part of this diagram, this is just like IMO shortlist 2012 G6. So we can call this function from that to solve this part of the diagram and so on, right? So I think especially for like geometry, I think it's like pattern recognition and like doing a bunch of like bunch of practice problems, you collect an arsenal of different things you can like call when you need to. Like it's like you're collecting functions for your like library, so that you can call them in the future. Like yeah, I don't know if that analogy like makes sense.
So, based on that, do you think it's a good strategy for someone who is starting to prepare for the IMO to start by reading the problem and then immediately the solution to enrich his library of ideas? And then after that, maybe if he has seen maybe 100 problems and their solutions, then he can start tackling problems.
Interesting, yeah. Interesting question. I feel like when you start, I think you should at least have some like basic idea of like what the like techniques are. Like for example, like I mean, if you don't know like what modular arithmetic is, for example, maybe that's not good. Maybe that's not a like very good example. Like for some problems, like you need to have some like prerequisite knowledge. Like if you don't know what entrance R is, like you cannot do like the counting problems. Like some multiple like problems where it asks you to like find a number of ways to do something. Sometimes you need to know. I mean, you need to have the concept of NCR. So it's not in like for the very basic level, like when you're just starting out, I think it's like maybe like reading some. I mean, I wouldn't say textbooks. There are some like the different like handouts or I guess something similar to textbooks where they'll give you like some example problems, and then like at the end they'll give you like some exercises, right? So I think in that like in some sense the example problems are giving you the like are similar to like reading the solution, right? Like you're reading the problem statement, and then they will like explain how they solve it, and then after that they give you like 25 exercise like similar like problems using the same technique. Oh yeah, if reading the solution immediately is like it helps in some extent. For once you get into like higher levels, I think like it's very helpful for you to like think about the problem for like a bit at least first before like spoiling yourself. Like because like at higher levels it's not about like knowing the techniques, but it's more like training your like problem solving skill. So like if you don't think about the problem, then like you're not training your thinking skill and stuff like. So like yeah, at the beginning maybe like it helps. Like for like when you're just like starting out. But once you have like a basic knowledge of like the tools that you need for solving problems, then I think you should like at least start thinking of how to apply them to your current problem before you like spoil yourself. Yeah.
So there is a saying which is what fires together wires together, and I think for your neurons to fire together in order to wire together, you need to think about the problem. And if you just go straight forward to reading the solution, well, next time you might not remember the idea because you did not train yourself.
Yeah, that's one
on it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like the idea will also like stick with you more if you like have tried the problem. Like if you struggle with a problem, and like, then you figure out, like, then you look at the solution and you're like, oh, you can do it this way. Then like, I guess in that case, like, the technique will like stick better. Yeah.
So how did participating in both IMO and Putnam shape your views on intelligence and success?
So like, what do you mean? Like,
So how do you look at intelligence? So let me give you the idea of how would a 14 years old person think of intelligence. It's like this black box, and ideas come from nowhere, and we don't know how it happens, but it's just, godly inspiration. Is it like that, or is it more of something that we can train?
So I think it's a bit of both. So like for some problems, like you can definitely train. Like for example, like, I think all geometry problems should be like in theory trainable. Like, I mean, and like to some extent, like algebra and number theory, like to some extent, like functional equations you can like train in some sense, right? But there's also like some portion of the time where like the solution is just like this genius idea. And like in those cases, like you'll feel like, okay, well, there's like a spark of genius that's like required. So like I think it's a bit of both. Like definitely like, maybe 80% of the problems you can like just do it by having training. You can like just do like 80% for sure. And like you need some spark of genius for some of them. Yeah.
Is that usually P3 and P6 that require a spark of genius?
Not necessarily. So sometimes, like, for example, like for 2011 P3, it's like some functional equation or functional inequality, right? I think people can just grind that somehow. Like, I think it's more like people tend to say like, combinatorics problems sometimes like some of them have like a spark of genius moments. I mean, it's not all of them, but like some of them, like there's a higher percentage of like, if you look at all the problems that require like spark of genius, like from like IMO, like maybe like most of them are combinatorics. I'm not sure like what percentage, but like, so it's more like the nature of the problem. It's not like the difficulty. It's like some very difficult problems you can like grind them. Like you can just do it by grinding. Like if you practice a lot of functional equations, I think like you should be very good at like almost all the functional equations that you can get at IMO.
Do you have a particular approach to problem solving? Is there a framework or strategy you rely on for tackling challenging questions?
Right. So, okay. So like for IOI problems, like you try to solve this like general case. So I think it is helpful to like look at small cases sometimes or special cases. So for example, like if the problem asks you like to solve it for a graph. So a very common thing is to start with a tree or even a path, a special case of the graph. And then if you can solve it there, then like you can think of like how to generalize it to the entire problem. And I think IOI encourages this like practice by having subtasks. So like if you want to do subtasks, like, you have to solve like easier cases. And I think this is also like how you like actually approach problems. You solve like easier cases for the problems. For some problems at least you can do that, right? For some problems, like it's very hard to even like begin solving it. I don't have like a concrete example, but like there are some problems where like you just look at it and like, what is this? For those, like I also don't have like a very good idea, because like I also like struggle with them. But like, yeah, it's kind of weird. But like for most problems, you can like look at small cases. At least for like combinatorics problems, like you can look at small cases, and then sometimes you can like recognize patterns from previous problems. So like, I mean, I mentioned this like analogy with like a library. Sometimes you can like look at this part and you can sense that this is similar to like some previous problem that you have. So in some sense, pattern recognition is like sort of like helpful somehow. Like, and also like, I guess like for IMO, like you're spending like 4.5 hours. So like maybe like you can solve two of the problems like in half an hour, and you have 4 hours left. And then I guess like a skill is like to not give up. Like you have to like somehow like spend 4 hours trying different directions on a single problem. So that's also like a skill on itself, I guess.
So indeed, perseverance is a skill that is trainable. So at first, you might give up pretty soon, but once you get trained, you'll find it easy to spend hours and hours, even days and weeks, thinking about one single problem.
Yeah.
So your tip would be perseverance, right?
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that's one.
Do you have any specific practices that you found particularly beneficial?
So I guess for the nature of like online like coding competitions, I guess like for those competitions it's more like speed. So I think there are like two different types of contests. For like IMO IOI, maybe like if you are stuck on a problem, right? Maybe go to the restroom and take a break, right? And then try to like take your head off the problem for like a bit and come back. So like for this like relatively long like contest, maybe it's helpful to like, I mean, if you're very stuck on the problem, right? Either like you change to a different problem, or changing to a different problem is also like a very like decent strategy, right? Or like you can take a break to take a buffer break. For like shorter contests, I guess like there you need to actually like focus for the entire like 2 hours. Because like time is very short and there are many problems. Yeah, in that case, I think it's like you probably should like rest well before that. Like you don't have to like be doing something like tactics before the contest. I think that's what. Advice. Yeah. I like meditate. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Meditate before the contest. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
So the tips you're giving is that if you get stuck, go to the restroom, move, do something else, get your mind off the problem, then get back to it.
Yeah.
So that's during the exam, but you're also suggesting that before the exam, you might calm down, be present, meditate. Yeah, get ready. Do you have any particular techniques for meditation?
I don't actually do much for meditation, so I know the correct question to ask. I have friends who do that, so I probably should ask them. Like personally, I do not. I just sit down. Like so before IOI, like there's like maybe like when you enter the contest hall, like there's still like some time before start. Sometimes I just walk around. I just like walking around when I'm thinking about problems. Obviously you can do that in IOI like during the contest, but like I think for IOI, I just like or IMO I just like walk around and talk to people before the contest. But like different people have like different ways of coming down, I guess.
So other than walking around, do you have any habits or rituals or techniques that you find helpful?
I think mainly for me, I like holding a piece of paper or like a notepad and like thinking about walking around. I think that's for me. Like I don't really have a ritual. Yeah.
So what advice would you give the students who are aiming for Math Olympiads? In other words, if you go back to Zisong in 2014, what advice would you give him?
Yes. Well, I mean, 2014, I was like, I mean, do you aim it for like, like people who are actually like very starting, like, having zero knowledge in Olympiads, or like people who have done some Olympiads, but like are struggling at like bronze level or something? Like what target, I guess?
Let's do both.
Do both, right? Okay. So if you're just starting out, so I think first thing is like, it's very important that you have fun doing it, right? If doing problems are like, like, you're struggling to find like motivation to like do the problems, then like, well, maybe like, like I think the first main thing is interest. Like if you're not interested in like, doing the problems, then like, maybe it's, like, I don't say like stay away from that. Like it's more like, there might be other things that are more suitable for you. But like, if you are very interested in like, like if you look at like some example problems and like you feel that these are like interesting to you, then I think, if you're starting out, you should look for different like, so you should like learn the basic techniques for every like topic, right? So in that sense, there are like different online, maybe there are like online textbooks like in this era. I guess back in the days, like
or I mean, a few years ago, there was no like single textbook for all the topics. But I think nowadays you can find. I think some people might have like written like textbooks on like the topics. So if you just do a Google search or like go to like our problem solving, right? I think there's like some syllabus there as well. You can like find the different like things you need to like learn to like have your like toolbox, right? And after that, after you learn like a topic, you can try some practice problems. Some of them might be easy, some of them might be very hard. If you're stuck on a very hard problem, like maybe you should like try looking at the solution for try for some time. Well, how long this sometime is depends on like how persevere you are, I guess. But like maybe if you're starting out, like it's not that important that you spend like many hours, because like maybe you just don't know the like technique, like the required techniques yet. But like yeah. So like look for different. If you have no like basic knowledge of like the PowerPoint, general principle, then you can look for textbooks or like handouts that teach this stuff. So that's for like starting out, right? So if you have like already some background in like Math Olympiad, so like if you know the basic stuff like PowerPoint, how to do like ANGM, this type of thing, right? Then I think it's more like focusing on solving problems. So you can look at different like, so in AOPS, there's like possible problems for basically all the national and international Olympics you can find, right? So you can just start like finding one that suits your current level, or like even higher, right? And then try to like solve the problems there. Spend hours thinking of the problem, and then like try to solve it. So one thing we did in the IMO training camp in Malaysia is that we have this like homework after the training camp. So after every training camp, we are given like 2 to 4 problems from the IMO shortlist, and we should solve this during the month before the next training camp. So like you have 1 month, you have like months to do like 4 problems, for like difficult problems. So like maybe like 7, 8, 6, like the like harder problems that I know. So like I think that helps you, like it forces you to like spend time to think about difficult problems. So I think like maybe it's helpful for you to like try to, if you're like maybe at the bronze level, to try to like look at the next level problems, and then try to like spend hours to like think about them. Maybe that's how you improve to the next level.
So if you could change one thing about your preparation, what would that be?
So a good question. Like I wanted to do IOI even earlier. So like I was doing IOI, like I knew about IOI like during 2014. So like during 2014, I actually qualified for the Malaysia IOI team. But like I couldn't go to, so like felt like I couldn't go to both, right? But during that time, I also like did not actually prepare too much for IOI. Because like I guess IOI is new, it's like pretty new in Malaysia, so not many people know what they're doing. So like I just like did not know what I was doing. So I mean, given what I'm interested now, like I feel like I want to like start doing IOI stuff like even earlier, and maybe that would like help me, during some years of IMO, like maybe that will help me like get a goal, because I would like skip to like the combinatorics problem 3. So yeah, maybe start doing, for me, like personally, like I wanted to start like doing IOI like even earlier, but yeah, like I said, let's start practicing like IOI style problems. Yeah.
Since you are saying that there is a lot of intersection between IMO and IOI, do you encourage people who are already doing IMO to go try IOI?
Right. So yeah, I think especially if you like combinatorics problems in IMO, then I would encourage you to try IOI. I think you will do like well there. If you're like a geometry main, then I'm not entirely sure. But I think many of my friends moved from IMO, like who did IMO, also like tried out IOI. I think most of them like just did not IOI. Like if you look at the top few people in IOI, I think most of them have like some Math Olympiad background. I think if you're interested in like combinatorics style problems, I would encourage trying out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll move to we'll talk a little bit more about your university, so MIT. So how has the transition been from high school Olympiads to advanced studies at MIT?
I just want to clarify that, like, so like, I just graduated from MIT this year. I'm actually in like Boston University for PhD. So technically, I'm currently in Boston like University, but like, yeah, I was in MIT for my undergrad. So yeah, how was the transition between like Olympiad math and like college level math, right? So during the first year, I took like an abstract algebra class. So like, you know, about group theory, rings, fields, yeah, this kind of thing. So okay, so I did not know so much about linear algebra before college, but like I picked it up like before college, maybe like last year of high school or something. I picked it up by myself. So that's college. So that like, yeah. So I think I pick it up from like a handout. So like one of these. So do you know like Evan Chin? That's like a very famous like Olympiad person, right?
Yeah.
Who made this like entire textbook about like college level mathematics, explain in like in a way that makes sense for Olympiad people. So like I think I read that. I read through like some parts of that. I think that really helped me like, you know, have the correct mindset to like going into like college, like what college level math is actually like what is like a linear transform, like this kind of thing. Yeah, I think he did a very good job of like explaining these like concepts to people who have like some. I mean, even for people who don't have Olympiad background, it's also good. But like, especially for people who already have.
My question is more about the mindset. Is it a problem-solving mindset at the university, or is it more of knowledge-based?
Yeah. So like for, yeah. So for algebra type, like so it depends on the topic, I think. So like for pure math, I think it's a mixture of both. Like for pure math, you need to know a lot of like knowledge. Have like sometimes it takes you like you need to know a lot of definitions and like basic stuff before you can able understand the problem statements sometimes. So for pure math, you need to like first you need to like do like you need to grind a lot to like be familiar. It's like learning a new like language, right? For pure math, for many fields of pure math. So you need to like learn a new language to understand what they're like talking about, and then you have to like do the problem solving part. I think I did not get past I did not get. I mean, I know some of the language, but like I cannot say I'm very good at pure math. Well, I'm not good at pure math, but like I think I gave up learning the language at some point. But like, so currently I'm doing theoretical computer science, which is more like combinatorics stuff. So for that, like, I think it's mostly just problem solving. Like, I think it's very similar to like IOI stuff. Yeah. So I'm doing theoretical computer science. Like, there's not much difference in what you learn in IOI or like, I mean, maybe for like, coforces and, encoder. The field I like, the algorithms I learned there, you can just apply it here, for theoretical CS. Yeah, I think for theoretical CS, just, I mean, the background is like roughly the same. But for research, you need to like do more like, I mean, longer periods of problem solving. I think that's the difference. For pure math, you need to like learn a different language. That's the difference between Olympiad math and like pure math in college. Yeah.
So what's about the difference between IMO and Putnam? Are they similar? Does Putnam feel like the continuation of IMO, or are they completely different?
I feel like they're different. I mean, the like style problems are sort of different. True. I mean, I don't. Let's see. So for IMO, I think kind of like just a mixture of different topics, right? Like algebra, number theory, combinatorics, geometry, right? For Putnam, it feels like there's less variety. I'm not sure. Like, I don't say there's less variety, but like, really that's not true. But first, you definitely need to know more stuff. Like, you need to know like calculus, right? Like, and like real analysis, like this basic stuff. Then but there's also like, I guess some problems are very good, but are like also very interesting. But I feel like they're also like more like grindy problems. It's like less interesting. Like, yeah, not sure.
And this is interesting. You mean less beautiful?
Yeah, I feel it's less beautiful.
but like there are also maybe one or two like beautiful problems sometimes. So maybe the ratio of beautiful problems, but I guess what I know is it's not like all the problems are beautiful either. But I feel like the ratio is higher. The quality is better. I feel. But I don't want to like dislike Putnam. I feel like Putnam has like more problems, so like there might be like more boring problems maybe.
What set of skills? What set of skills do you need to do Putnam? Like for someone who's already done IMO.
You should know like the basic calculus, real analysis, algebra, I guess. Yeah, like linear algebra. Like if you have taken like first year, well, depends on what college you're in, I guess. Or like if you have some basic knowledge of like abstract algebra and analysis, I think you can combine with your Olympiad skills. You can do like reasonably well.
Cool. So we have finished with the main part of the podcast. I will move to the community questions. Okay. So for these questions, you'll just answer in 1 to 2 sentences. You don't need to develop much. These are questions of the community. I got a huge reaction from them when I told them that I'm interviewing you. So can you please answer their questions really fast and concisely, as some of the questions already intersect with what we have discussed? What is your favorite problem of all time?
All time. Okay, yeah. So like I have like favorite problem. Well, I mean, quite recent. Like I learned about this a few years ago, but like I think it's also like a pretty problem. Maybe on all time for me, but like it's like very like deep in my like recent memory. So it's called the backfield theorem. So let's say you have like numbers from 1 to n, right? And you can color each number red or blue. So let's think of it as like assigning +1 or -1 to the numbers from 1 to n. And now you have some collection of sets, subsets of 1 to n. So like maybe 1, 2, 3 so like maybe 1, 2, 4 is a set, and then 3, 5 is a set, and so on, right? You want to, so like the discrepancy of a set is defined as like the difference between the number of red and blue elements in the set. So for example, like if I have the set 1, 2, 4, and if I color 1 and 4 red and 2 blue, then the discrepancy is 1, right? It's 2 minus 1. I have a bunch of subsets of 1 to n. Every number appears in most, let's say, t sets. So I want to show that. So prove that there exists a way to color the numbers from 1 to n, red or blue, so that the discrepancy of all sets are at most 2t minus 1. So that's the problem statement. So for example, like yeah, so, I mean that's the problem statement.
So
If you are interested in
this problem, yeah. So
I know that.
I will link it in the description.
Yeah. You should check it out.
Can you provide me with the
I
link?
haven't seen this before. I think just search like backyard here, and it will appear on Google search. Like it's a very.
Search for
I think it's really famous.
backyard what?
Fiala. Back Fiala. BECK. FIALA. FIALA. The search is very short, but very surprising.
I'm not sure I got it right. Can you please write this in the description?
I can write down. Yeah, I can write down.
Yeah, I can write down.
Like live stream. Wait, which channel?
Where is it? Okay, just write it on WhatsApp.
Does it work? I see this.
Me neither, but you can write it on WhatsApp, okay?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So, how does it feel to have the record of the highest number of participations in the IMO?
Honestly, I feel like this is not I mean, it's an interesting metric. But like, it's not a metric on like how good you are. I guess. I think it's more like, well, first thing, like if I'm in the US, I'll probably not be joining like 7 times, right? Because there's like more competition. But yeah, like it's an interesting stat, I guess. Not any indication of like anything much. I think like depending on what country you're in, like the like difficulty of getting into the IMO team like differs by like a lot, right? So I feel like Malaysia is like medium level.
So you have been through multiple generations of people. Like on average, a
Right.
person might go once, twice, if he's lucky 3 times.
Right.
But you have met so many people out there. It's like your second home.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. That's a very That's
So which IMO is your best one?
right. I think I like IMO 2015. Like I think there are like I was able to like there was more interaction. So like in IMO 2015 there was like a big room with like people playing board games on different games. There's like a game room like in the hotel where everyone can like just go there play, and they're like mafia games like different on many nights. So I think like I got to like play with a bunch of people in IMO 2015. That was very fun. Uh, yeah, I think that's the most fun. IOI, I think like it's a different story because like IOI, so like I like IOI 2018. I got gold there. That's one reason. But also like because I like Japan. 2018 was in Japan, so I got to like visit Japan for like the day before. Like we went there like maybe before the first day, like maybe a day before or something. So we got to like go somewhere before the actual contest. So that was fun. Yeah.
Approach would you recommend when facing a very difficult problem? Do you think it's better to keep pushing through or take a step back and revisit later? Or do you think it's better to take some hints?
I think that's an interesting question. So I think in terms of Olympiad, right? Maybe or like a research problem. So like I guess because nowadays I'm doing like research problems, right? So and those problems like they're just open problems, so it'll take like really long time. Yeah, like if you're just like I don't think it helps if you like just stare at the problem for like many hours and like have no idea, right? I think it's helpful to like do something else first. If you're allowed to like do something else. If it's not like the actual IMO. Like if it's the actual IMO, then like you need to focus, right? But like if it's like a practice, I feel like if it's a difficult problem, maybe you try for 3 hours. And maybe like if you're stuck, you can either get a hint, but like you can also defer it to the next day, right? And do something else, right? And maybe you have fresh ideas for the problem. So like I guess nowadays there are like many problems in the scene. So like it's fine if you take some hints for a problem because like there are still many other problems you can try. But like I think it's helpful to like have some problem, like some set of problems where you like just have it on your mind, like without looking at hints, right? Like just have it so that you can think about them like later. Maybe you can for some problems you can look for hints, but leave some of them like for like later.
For those struggling, so mainly you're saying it's okay whether you want to look at some hints or just get back to it later.
But like you should at least get back to them later for at least some of the problems. But you should not always look at hints, right?
Okay, so first take a break, and then if you do not progress, look at some hints. Okay, so for those struggling with math but passionate about it, what advice would you offer to keep them motivated and progressing?
Like struggling as in like in math as in like school level math or Olympiads. I mean for Olympiad, like I think it's for Olympiad problems like I like as I said like earlier, right? So like interest is very important. So like try to find some problem that like it's interesting to you. There are like many problems in the like Olympiad universe, right? If you're interested in math, hopefully some of them will sound interesting to you. So in some sense, for me the motivation is like this problem looks like it's just like surprising or interesting, really. So I try the problem. But if you're like, I guess if you're not interested in math at all, the more difficult problem. But like, I think nowadays there are for like different, school level topics, like for different concepts in mathematics. I think there are like many online like YouTube videos or explanations that are like catered for people who are struggling, right? And I think they explain it like better than maybe better than like class. Maybe some good YouTube channels. I don't actually like know what channels, but maybe there are some maybe know about them. Or some like video explanations sometimes are interesting.
Yeah, there is the best YouTube channel about visualizing mathematical concepts is 3 Blue 1 Brown.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you've won bronze, silver, and eventually gold. at the IMO and IOI. What changed in your preparation or mindset from one medal to another? Were there specific adjustments or lessons that made the difference? So I think you already answered this one. Do you have anything you want to? Okay, so mainly just practice, keep doing the same thing,
Right.
and you progress one step at a time. What are some of the mistakes that you made along the way that helped you learn and improve?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, one mistake, as I mentioned, like earlier, is that even though sometimes the problems are sort of in like increasing order of difficulty, sometimes like more difficult problem is like more suitable for you, right? Like maybe you're like just better at this topic, so don't be afraid to like skip easier problems that are like less relevant to you, or like they are like not your main focus, right? Like I guess be confident in skipping problems. I think that's a very important. Like I guess the mistake was like I did not skip problems, so like I guess be confident in skipping problems is one of my takeaways.
So the idea is to try very hard problems. Do not be afraid of them.
Or like to try problems that you think are that you have a better chance in. Like even though it's like more difficult, but like if it's like a topic that you like, or like a topic that you are better in, then maybe like you can try that. That's very sometimes easier than the previous one. Yeah.
Okay. How did you balance training between theory and practice?
Like training in theory and practice, like.
Yeah, training between theory and practice. Practice means doing problems, and theory means you are reading a new theorem or learning a new theory. Or
I see. Right. I feel like, well, for the beginning stages, maybe like more emphasis on theory, because like when you're beginning, you don't have any like basic tools needed to solve any problems, right? But like at a certain point, like even when I was like 13, I guess, like when I was like bronze medal, like once you're like bronze medal, maybe, then like I feel like, well, I mean maybe even before that, before bronze medal, like I feel like almost 99% is like practice. Like maybe like occasionally you learn about a new trick, a new technique, right? Maybe sometimes you learn about that by like doing problems. You see that during a solution, like they have this new technique, a new trick. So like I feel like learning is more like the theory part is more like on the way. Like when you solve problems, like you encounter this like new theory, and maybe you like read about them sometimes. But like I think most of them at the higher level of Olympiad is more like just practice, like 90-something% practice, and then like you learn about theory like on the way. Yeah, at least that's how I did the IOI stuff. IMO IOI, I guess. Yeah.
So you're saying it's 80% practice and 20% theory.
Even more, yeah. But like, yeah, at least at a higher level of Olympiads. Yeah.
And what about the IOI? Is it the same?
Yeah, I think it's the same.
Did you also make an effort to take care of your physical health? Do you have a certain diet that you follow?
Right, physical health. Right. I guess I'm less of a physical activities person. I don't know. Maybe like eat healthy, I guess. And like
So you eat everything. You don't really care about what you eat.
I mean, I'm sometimes picky, but like I like different varieties of things. Like I eat vegetables. I think some people like don't like vegetables, but like I like vegetables. So that's one thing. Yeah, I eat like meat, a lot of varieties of things.
Do you have a certain food that you eat before entering the exam?
I think it's just like whatever appeared in the dining. I mean, they give out like breakfast every day, right? So it depends on what, like it's just whatever appears there. I don't have a specific food. Like it depends on the country, so yeah, there's no like lucky food or something.
Have you heard of the carnivore diet? The carnivore diet. Do you know about it?
Carnivore diet?
Because you said you eat a lot of meat, so I thought maybe you are doing the carnivore diet.
Carnivore. Oh, sorry. I don't. No, sorry. I eat, but I think I'm more like omnivore. Like I don't like I'm not like a meat lover. I'm like a mix between meat and vegetables. Like back home, I would eat like more than half vegetables. But I guess back in the US, I don't like the vegetables here much. Oh, like the type of vegetables, I guess. But I like the like back home like vegetables back home. So maybe I'm turning more like carnivore here than back home. But I guess no, that's not true. Yeah, I think I still like more towards vegetables than meat if you were to compare the two.
Do you have any rituals to take care of your mental health and reduce stress? Sure. Take your time.
So yeah, so I play board games and some video games, but like mostly board games. So I think that's a very good way to relieve stress. Like I play like a ton of
Sorry, you play what?
board games. Board games.
Ford, what is that?
Board games like board.
Board. Like chess?
I used to play chess, yeah. But like also many other different types of board games. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you play board games too.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Board games is like a main way to like actively release stress, I guess. A more passive stuff is like listening to music. Like I like anime music or like Japanese music in general. So like that's a more passive stress relief. But like if I want to like do something, I would like play board games. Yeah, many board games.
Okay,
Board
board games. Do you have something specific?
So, I mean, I play like at least like 30, 40 different types. But like my most played was like something called Innovation. Which you probably have not heard of. But like it's some card game. Like we have a deck of cards and like we take turns like going for the deck of cards. Like we try to build like a table and every card has some effects. So that's one of them. Yeah. So I also play like some engine building games. If you know what, like Race for the Galaxy, Terraforming Mars. I guess that's less. I think more like Race for the Galaxy. But like yeah, I played like different varieties of board games. And recently I played Mahjong. So yeah, that's more like maybe a more like famous game.
Yeah, cool. Let me add this question. So what's next for you? What are you doing next?
Right. So I guess currently I'm trying to solve like so I'm doing my PhD TCS, right? So I'm looking at some interesting open problems. So it feels a lot like doing Olympiad, but like except like you don't actually know if this problem is solved. I think that's the main difference. So like yeah, currently I'm like interested in like trying to solve open problems in TCS, like from the algorithms. Recently, like approximation algorithms, like so that's my current goal, I guess. Okay.
Does that intersect with it? Does that intersect with AI?
Yeah. So my project is asking me this question, right? So like after I research like intersect with AI, I keep getting this question. Like the honest answer is like probably no, right? Like or at least not the machine learning part. But maybe, yeah, who knows?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like big data and stuff. Maybe that has some implications.
Do you think AI will be disruptive? Do you think AI will be disruptive to the Olympiad, the Math Olympiads?
I don't think so. I feel like Olympiad is more like a hobby type thing, right? Like it's like stuff like chess, but like more like academic chess question mark. Like it's more like a hobby thing. Like some people say like competitive programming will die because of AI, right? People will just like use AI to like write that code. But like I feel like you're probably just like this competitions like you're probably just if you're doing this competitions like you probably like just want to have fun solving the problems. If you just like ask the AI to solve it for you, then like where's the fun, right? Like so like it's not like a doomsday point. Even if the AI can like solve everything, well, yeah,
It's maybe a question of
still like a sport.